Hey guys, it is Christian here, and today I'm already going to be doing my final Oscar nomination predictions for 2026. Before getting into this, please like, subscribe, and tell me what you think of this live stream. So yeah, Oscar nominations are already tomorrow. Dang, it's gonna be crazy. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to react to them right away because I'm gonna be in school, so I won't be home until maybe around 4:45 or 5 o'clock. I have the reaction live stream scheduled for 5 o'clock, like just in case. But maybe I may, if I get home earlier, I may have it earlier. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to react to them right away. So all day from like 8:30 when the nominations are announced all the way to 5 p.m. I'm gonna have to avoid all spoilers. Um, so that way I can do a reaction stream for you guys and have all my reactions be 100% genuine. Um, in past years that I've been able to avoid most spoilers. Last year I accidentally got like the Sebastian Stan nomination spoiled, but aside from that, I was fine. I had no clue I'm Still Here was coming. But yeah, with all that said, let's just get right into this. This is gonna be a long stream. When talking about each category, I'm not really gonna talk about what I think is winning. I think I've probably done this in past prediction streams. I've been doing these prediction streams since June, but I'm just mainly because this is already going to be so long as it is, and this is mainly about nominations. So I'm just going to talk about like what I think is getting nominated, and rather than what I think is actually going to win these categories, because that will come later down the line. So yeah, I just say we just get right into it. So for Best Picture, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, Sentimental Value, and Begonia are all guaranteed locks, I believe. I'd be surprised if any of them missed anywhere. They've all hit every place they've needed to. The top five were all that was the SAG Ensemble 5, the DGA 5. Sentimental Value got no SAG nominations, but that did get PGA. And then Begonia, before the industry nominations, I was unsure how this was actually gonna play, like with precursors, but it's hit everywhere. It got Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, PGA. It did extremely well on the BAFTA long lists. So I think Begonia's a lock at this point. I feel like The Secret Agent, after its Golden Globe 2 wins for international feature and actor for Wagner Moura, those were pretty like. I think those wins are gonna give visibility to. We're gonna give visibility to the movie because Oscar voting was the next day. So I feel like there was time for voters to see the movie, and if they're really passionate towards it, I think it's gonna get in. Um, Maybe it gets the I'm Still Here package and gets picture, actor, and international, or maybe it can do more and get like screenplay, or maybe even director. We'll see. But I do feel like Secret Agent's gonna happen. I think it's probably Neon's number 2 contender at this point, especially because of what's happened to. It was just an accident, but we're gonna talk about Train Dreams first because that's number 9. Accidents number 10. Train Dreams has done pretty good. That got AFI top 10, Critics' Choice. Didn't get Golden Globe. Wasn't on the BAFTA long list, although it's a very American movie. Although it did get PGA, which I think is good. It's looking pretty likely to get an adapted screenplay nomination, which is also very good. So I think it's just going to be in until proven otherwise. This is Netflix's second contender, so they're probably going to get 2 movies in. So I think Train Dreams is looking pretty good, although it's not like 100% guaranteed. And then let's talk about It Was Just an Accident real quick. This is the 3rd Neon movie I'm predicting. I'm predicting 3 Neons. There was one point in time where I was predicting 4, but that's not happening. It Was Just an Accident started the season off strong. It did well at critics groups. Panahi won like at the Gothams. It got 4 Golden Globe nominations for picture, director, screenplay, international. Big turnout. It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Huge. But then like it only got international at Critics' Choice, but who cares really? The guilds were obviously never gonna like it, so like who cares? The worrying thing is the BAFTA long list shut it out aside from screenplay and international. May still get screenplay at the BAFTAs, but we're not gonna know that obviously. And may still get screenplay here too. But yeah, it's not looking great. Like Panahi didn't make the director long list. It didn't make best film, and a lot of people thought it was going to. And then at the European Film Awards, like it didn't win anything. It didn't win any Golden Globes. So it's a little bit on the table. It's a little bit on the cusp. Although I still think it's going to get in. I can see voters being very being passionate towards Accident. Also, like getting the screenplay and director nominations at the Globes, I still feel like is pretty big, despite it not winning anything. I still think getting those 2 nominations is big. When you think about movies that missed, that got both of those, like it's like Gone Girl and Nocturnal Animals. Nocturnal Animals probably got those because Tom Ford gave them Cologne, and then there's like, and then Gone Girl, like maybe that would have been in with 10 nominees, maybe not, but Accent, I think Accent's way stronger than those 2 movies. The game screenplay and director at the Globes is pretty good, and also won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. That's huge. So I'm gonna keep it in. I could see it maybe having enough passion and enough #1 votes to get in. I feel like those like last few slots are gonna come down to which movies have the most passion, and I could see Accent and Secret Agent being those movies, and I could see them still getting in, especially because the alternatives, well, a little bit like worrying. I don't feel fully convinced about for each, for Best Picture I have 10 outside shots, in every other category I have 5 outside shots. There are some movies that are on there that I don't think have any chance at all, but are just there to like fill out the category. F1 and Weapons both got we're going to talk about the picture outside shots now. F1 and Weapons both got PGA. That's pretty much all they have in terms of picture precursors, excluding like critics groups, I guess. But F1 I'm a little bit worried about. I could see that maybe getting in. That's probably going to get editing nomination. The editing nominees are usually in Best Picture, although this one doesn't have to be, and I think it's going to get editing at this point. So yeah, but there are like the producers behind it are like big names. Jerry Bruckheimer is a big name. Obviously, Brad Pitt's producer. Dee Gardner and Jeremy Kleiner, they're part of Brad Pitt's production company Plan B. They've gotten in for like Nickel Boys, Women Talking, Vice, 12 Years a Slave. They won for that. They won for Moonlight. They got in for like Selma. So they get in quite a bit, but is that enough? I'm not sure. F1 and Weapons. We'll talk about Weapons. Weapons that can maybe get a screenplay nomination. That's going to get supporting actress. It could get casting. It could get maybe a 4 nomination package. We'll see. The only thing is those 2 really don't fit the bill for like movies that surprise get nominated for Best Picture. Like when I think of like surprises, I think of I'm Still Here last year. I think of Phantom Thread. Those 2 really came out of nowhere in terms of picture because they didn't get any precursors at all. And then I even think of stuff like American Sniper or Judas and the Black Messiah, which were very late surges. They came out very late. F1 came out in June, and then Weapons, they both came out in summer. F1 was in June, Weapons was in August. So they had time to like get stuff, yet they didn't until PGA. Like they could have gotten it in the AFI top 10. They could have gotten Critics' Choice. They actually both did pretty good at Critics' Choice. They just didn't get nominated for Best Picture. But they nominated Wicked for Good, so they're obviously inclined. They like to nominate blockbusters, and then AFI nominated Wicked for Good and Avatar: Fire and Ash. So obviously they're not immune to nominating blockbusters. They will do it. So why didn't F1 and Weapons get in? Like it kind of feels weird for those to be like late surge movies, and I'm not really sure if the lone PGA is really reliable. Although I guess it wouldn't be too surprising if one of them got in. I just don't really think it's gonna happen. Maybe we gotta make as those are like the 2 main ones that I think could happen. Other outside shots, I guess we gotta maybe prepare ourselves. And just like Sony Classics does an insane campaign. They have both Blue Moon and Nuremberg. Nuremberg's on the BAFTA long list. Blue Moon got a Golden Globe comedy nomination that can maybe get screenplay. It's probably gonna get Best Actor. I guess maybe, but probably not. Wicked for Good's just dead. That's so dead. Couldn't even get PGA. Couldn't get SAG Ensemble. It got Critics' Choice and AFI top 10. It's gonna have to be happy with those. But yeah, missing PGA as a blockbuster is really bad. It's not happening. Avatar: Fire and Ash is also dead. I have it all the way down there. No Other Choice seems dead. Like the BAFTA long list performance was terrible. Didn't even get screenplay there. It got a screenplay nomination at Critics' Choice and a picture nomination at the Golden Globes. And Lee Byung-hun got an actor nomination there too. But I just feel like it's clearly Neon's number 4 like player in Best Picture. May not even be stable for international feature, which is the same because it's an amazing movie, but it just seems to not really be hitting with awards recently. Sorry Baby, that can maybe get screenplay, but that's not getting picture. Again, a lot of these are just filling up the last few slots. Like, I don't really think anything besides like Blue Moon or maybe Nuremberg really have any shot. Jay Kelly's long dead. Avatar's gone, and then I don't really think they're going to nominate Surat. I don't really think they're going to nominate Surat. So yeah, I really think aside from like Blue Moon and maybe Nuremberg, like all these other movies are just dead, and they're not going to get in. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'd say about Best Picture, huh? Yeah, because we have like 7 movies that are locked. One that I think is 2 that I think are looking pretty likely, and then the 10th slot I'm a little bit more hesitant on, but I still think Accident makes some sense for the Oscars to redeem. Maybe it's like Sing Sing where I try to hold on and hope for it, but it doesn't work. But maybe it does work and it gets in. We'll see. Best Director. This category is nuts. Okay. Yeah, Best Director is crazy. Paul Thomas Anderson's obviously in. He's probably the only 100% lock, I'd even say. I'd say Ryan Coogler's looking pretty good. He hasn't missed a beat. A lot of people think he can maybe be like, no, not a lot, only a few, really. A few people think he could be like Greta Gerwig for Barbie or Denis Villeneuve for Dune. Sinners is just way stronger than Barbie and the Dune movies, and it also has a little bit more of like an auteur vision to it. It's a little less like studio made, I'd say. So I think he makes a lot of sense. I guess I wouldn't be like 100% shocked if they like decided to gatekeep Sinners. Although I don't think so. I think Sinners is going to get a ton of nominations, and director's going to have to be one of them. He hasn't missed a beat. He's number 2 with critics. He's gotten every precursor nomination so far. I'd be a little more hesitant if he missed like the BAFTA long list, but he didn't. He got that, and then obviously he has DGA, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe. I think he's in. I think Joachim Trier is also in for Sentimental Value. He missed DGA, but that doesn't really matter as an international director. He's like the most likely Cannes director to get in. He has Golden Globe, Critics' Choice. He has the BAFTA long list. He's obviously going to get nominated there, and he won at the European Film Awards, which is pretty good. A lot of the directors who have won there have gotten Oscar nominated. Ruben Östlund, Triangle of Sadness. Justine Triet, Anatomy of a Fall. Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round. Pavel Pawlikowski for Cold War. Yeah, great track record. Yeah, I think Joachim Trier is very much in there. I'd say also Josh Safdie. I think Josh Safdie makes a lot of sense. The only thing he really missed was the Golden Globe, and Marty Supreme wasn't at its peak at that time. Since the movie's release, it's done way better. It's gotten the cinematography nomination. Alyssa Zion got a SAG nomination. Josh Safdie got DGA and BAFTA long list. I think he's very Todd Field and Tar coded. And I think with the movie peaking, it's not just going to randomly stop at the Oscars and they're just going to snub him. I think he's going to get in. The 5th slot, I have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. I don't really see a good enough reason to doubt her. She was able to give a speech for the movie. The movie won Golden Globe drama, so she was able to give a speech the day before Oscar voting started. Hamnet seems to be a top 3 contender. Maybe she could be like McDonough for 3 Billboards, where the movie won drama and won the People's Choice Award at TIFF for 3 Billboards, but he got snubbed. I feel like she's way stronger than that. Hamnet seems to be a little more like stylized, and Chloe Zhao was also a previous Best Director winner for Nomadland. Maybe it could be like Berger for Conclave too. But again, I think Chloe Zhao is in a better spot than Berger and McDonough were at the time when they were contending for 3 Billboards and All Quiet, respectively. McDonough for 3 Billboards, Berger for All Quiet. So I just don't really see a good enough reason to doubt her. I think she can get snubbed for a second Neon director. I feel like Neon is going to get 2 directors in. I just don't know who the nominee is going to be, and I don't know who the snub is going to be. So I'm just going to stick with the consensus 5. Although I don't actually think it's going to be this 5, really. But I just don't really know who would get snubbed. I guess I have the least convincing argument for Chloe Zhao, but I still think she's probably going to get in. We'll just have to see. I don't think this is going to be the 5, but I think all of them make enough sense for me to have in. So, yeah. And then number 6, Jafar Panahi, who was just an accident. He got a Golden Globe nomination. The movie won the Palme d'Or. He's done very well with critics, and he seems to be the driving force behind It Was Just an Accident. He's the clear face of the movie, basically. However, he missed the BAFTA long list. The movie's falling, so maybe he just doesn't get in, or maybe he's fine after all because the movie's in Best Picture. Maybe they'll nominate for director. I always thought he made a lot of sense ever since Cannes when the movie won the Palme d'Or. Like, I've had him in, but I'm not sure if I can anymore. But I don't think he's impossible. I can definitely see him getting in still. I can also see Kleber Mendonça Filho getting in for The Secret Agent. He hasn't really shown up anywhere, not even with critics. Obviously, didn't get Globe or BAFTA long list, but if the movie's like surging and it overperforms and gets like screenplay and stuff, I can maybe see Mendonça Filho coming along for the ride. Really, I can maybe see. I can see him being the second Cannes director maybe. He's not like the clear like force behind Accident though. Like Panahi's. No, he's not the clear force behind The Secret Agent. Like Panahi's like obviously like you're nominating Accident to get Panahi nominated, but The Secret Agent like it's him and it's Wagner Moura. So yeah, I think he makes sense though. He can maybe get in. I think both him and Panahi do have a shot, although I think the other 5 have good cases to get into. Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein. As soon as he missed the BAFTA long list, I was just fine moving him all the way to number 8. He did get Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and DGA, but he makes a lot of sense to snub, I think. A lot of people are probably going to say, some people are probably going to think he's like Mangold for A Complete Unknown. I don't think Mangold will get in with this competition. Like, the category was way less competitive last year. It's way more competitive this year. So I feel like he's going to get snubbed. Although if he gets in, like, oh my goodness. If he gets in, it's probably because they love Guillermo del Toro. That's probably what it is. The one thing I hope is that he doesn't get. I hope Del Toro doesn't get in, and then they snub Rank. I hope Del Toro. The scenario I'm hoping is that Coogler doesn't Coogler missing and Del Toro getting in is something I do not want. That's what I was trying to say. I do not want Coogler to miss, only for Del Toro to get in. If that happens, I'll talk about why Frankenstein's winning Best Picture, But I feel like he's probably not going to get in for now. Although he does have DGA. But yeah, we'll see. Yorgos Lanthimos for Begonia. He's on the BAFTA long list. He'll probably get that nomination. But I don't really think he's going to get the Oscar nomination. And then Park Chan-wook for No Other Choice. Unfortunately, he's just not gotten anything. I haven't seen him get a single thing. So unfortunately, I think he's going to be gone, even though I think he does deserve to get in. So yeah, we can talk about Best Actress now. Best Director category was a little I was going back and forth between Zhao and Panahi for a couple of days, but I've ultimately settled on just predicting Chloe Zhao. Because if she misses, I'm gonna be like, oh man, why did I predict her? She had everything, so like, why didn't I say she was gonna get in? But yeah, I'm just gonna have her in. No, we can talk about Best Actress now. Obviously, Jessie Buckley's getting in for Hamnet. I think Rose Byrne's getting in for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. I guess maybe she could be you can maybe argue maybe this movie isn't the Academy's cup of tea. Maybe they'll snub her like they did with Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler and Tilda Swinton for We Need to Talk About Kevin. Although she's done so well, she's done extremely well with critics. She won the Golden Globe. She got in at Critics' Choice and SAG. She's gonna get BAFTA too. So yeah, and her winning the Golden Globe, I can't say that they're gonna snub the Golden Globe winner. She beat Emma Stone, Chase Infinity, Kate Hudson, Seifert, and Cynthia Erivo. So I think she's gonna get in. It is kind of dangerous to be the lone acting nominee for your movie, although she's been stable everywhere. So I'm just gonna say she gets in. Emma Stone's getting in for Begonia. She's in the Best Picture movie. She's gotten everything. It's easy. I think they're still going to nominate Renata Reince for Sentimental Value. She did miss SAG, but I don't really think that matters. It's an international performance. Of course, she missed SAG. She has Golden Globe, Critics' Choice. She's going to have BAFTA. I think she'll be fine. And number 5, I just have Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. I'm sure she's a newcomer, although she is a part of the Best Picture frontrunner, and she hasn't missed a beat yet. She has Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG. She's probably gonna get BAFTA. And with the movie being as strong as it is, like I'm not sure if she's just gonna miss because I think the movie's gonna get nominated for a ton of Oscars, and she's been nominated along with the movie, so I think it'd be a little weird if she missed. Although a lot of people are trying to say that they're going to nominate Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, comparing her to like Annette Bening for Nyad. I feel like Annette Bening was a little more of like a respected veteran. This would be Kate Hudson's second Oscar nomination. Annette Bening, she also had her co-star coming along, Jodie Foster. She was actually stronger than Annette Bening was, and the movie was also being campaigned by Netflix. So I think she's a little weaker than Annette Bening, probably stronger than like Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, but she's the only nomination for her movie. I mean, she is playing a real person, but she's gonna be the only nomination for Song Sung Blue, and Focus Features already has Jessie Buckley and Emma Stone. Like, are they gonna get 3 actresses in? Not sure if this is the same thing, but like A24 had 3 lead actor performances last year. They had Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, and Daniel Craig for Queer. Craig couldn't get in. I mean, that's probably because Queer is probably just like not an Oscar movie whatsoever. But like also like they were clearly prioritizing Domingo and Brody, right? And they were definitely way stronger than Craig was. So I'm just like kind of wondering like if because she's clearly probably the 3rd priority for Focus Features, like, are they just gonna snub her? Like, I kind of think. I mean, I think she could. I think she does have Globe. She does have SAG. She has the BAFTA long list. Not sure if she'll get the nomination there. But I guess it's not impossible. I guess. But I'm not sure. I just don't really think she has a better case than the people in the top 5. Really. I mean, I know Chase Infinity is a newcomer, and this is her first performance, but she's gotten everything, and her movie is probably going to win Best Picture, so I think she makes more sense. But I guess I want to be overly shocked by Kate Hudson, but I'm just not going to predict her. Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee, she seems gone. She couldn't even get the BAFTA long list. She does have Globe and Critics' Choice, so I guess like you could say, Kristen Stewart and Spencer had those 2, and she missed SAG and BAFTA, but she still got the Oscar. Stewart at least made the long list, and Spencer was a lot more like visible than Anne Lee. What Anne Lee hasn't showed up like barely anywhere. Got 2 Critics' Choice nominations, 1 Golden Globe nomination, no Oscar shortlist, no BAFTA long lists. Like, it just seems to be dying by every single day. It's already dead. It's way dead, Anne Lee. So I'd be a little bit surprised if she pulled a Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart was also sweeping with critics. She was the critics leader, so I feel like Seyfried's just not like happening at this point. Arrivo's gone. She couldn't even get SAG. She was gone the moment she missed Critics' Choice, really, but the only thing she has is Golden Globe. She's long listed for BAFTA, but I don't really care about that. She couldn't even get SAG, so she's gone. Tessa Thompson for Hedda is just there to fill up the list. Maybe she can get BAFTA, but we'll see. And then Eva Victor for Sorry Baby, again, just there to fill up the list. She got a Globe nomination, but everyone got Golden Globe. So yeah. Best Actor. Obviously, Timothée Chalamet and Leonardo DiCaprio are getting in. They're locked. I think Wagner Moura is locked too. He won the Golden Globe for drama. Fernando Torres also won the Golden Globe for drama last year. Missed the BAFTA long list, but still got the Oscar nomination. That happened exactly with Wagner Moura. Although Wagner Moura does have a Critics' Choice nomination too. Fernando Torres did not have that. So I think in that way he's a little bit stronger than she is. So yeah. I think he's going to get in. He's the only one in this top 5 that's really missed any beats because he's obviously not nominated for SAG. They didn't nominate any international performances. And he didn't make the BAFTA long list, but I think he's going to be fine. He has the Golden Globe win, so I think he's going to be in. Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. He hasn't missed a beat. He's done well with critics. He got Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG. He's probably going to get the BAFTA nomination too. Playing a real person. Sony Pictures Classics. It's a Sony Classics movie. It's a kind of a transformation. So yeah, I think he makes a lot of sense. A lot of people think he might miss to get Plemons in there. I guess it's not impossible because he is the only one not in a Best Picture movie. Again, I said lone nominees. Like, well, if his movie gets screenplay, he'll very much be in there. But again, lone acting nominees, you're a little bit like on the cusp if you're a lone acting nominee. Though I kind of feel like it'd be way too obvious for Hawk to be the snub just because he's not in the Best Picture movie. Like, it's deceptive, in my opinion. Like, it feels so obvious on paper, but it's not. It wouldn't actually happen if Clemens got in. So yeah, I feel like Hawk's gonna be in, and then number 5, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. I kind of feel like if they want to do like a crazy snub instead of some Ethan Hawke, think it's not Michael B. Jordan. Although there's no justification for it. He hasn't missed a beat. He's been winning critics groups, so that already makes him way stronger than Margot Robbie for Barbie. He's hit every precursor, Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG. They're gonna love Sinners. He's probably gonna get BAFTA too, to be honest. They love Sinners. Every place loves Sinners. Sinners hasn't missed a beat all season. So yeah, I think he's gonna be in. I guess like maybe a snub's not impossible, but I don't think he's gonna miss. I think he'll be in. And it'll be cool to finally see Michael B. Jordan hopefully get his first Oscar nomination. Jesse Plemons for Begonia is tempting, though. I mean, he's fantastic in the movie. And he got the SAG nomination, which a lot of people didn't expect. But he got it. Over people like Joel Edgerton and George Clooney, Dwayne Johnson, Oscar Isaac, I guess. Obviously, he got it over Wagner Moura. And he's going to get the BAFTA nomination probably, too. They love Begonia on the long list, and Moore is not even like on the long list. So I think he'll easily get BAFTA. So like that probably puts him in a good spot for the Oscar nomination. The only thing is I just don't really feel like he has as much justification as the other 5. Like Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawke, and Michael B. Jordan haven't missed a single thing. Like they've gotten everything. And like Wagner Moore, he won the Golden Globe. So like I feel like they just have a little more going for them. Although Plemons could definitely happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he got in. So yeah, I feel like he'll be in. No, I feel like he could get in, but I just don't really have enough justification to predict him over the top 5. Joel Edgerton for Trainspotting is probably not happening. He didn't get SAG, so I feel like it's just not going to happen. He got Critics' Choice and Golden Globe, but I feel like Trainspotting can happen without him. He doesn't need to come along. He is very good. He is very good in the movie, though. Russell Crowe for Nuremberg's just there. He made the BAFTA long list, but I'm not sure if he's probably not real. George Clooney, Jay Kelly, he's gone. Only has Golden Globe. Couldn't even get SAG. He's long dead. Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein, just not happening. He's only there because it's Best Picture nominee, but he's not happening. Don't even have like Dwayne Johnson on my list anymore because Smashing Machine is so gone in every category that isn't makeup. So yeah, no reason to have him in. A supporting actress. This category is a little interesting. Obviously, Tiana Taylor's in. Amy Madigan's going to happen. She hasn't missed a beat. Wunmi Masako, I think, is really in at this point. She only missed Golden Globe. She has Critics' Choice, SAG. She's going to have BAFTA probably. She's British, and they're probably going to like Sinners. So I think she'll have both SAG and BAFTA. We're not going to know about BAFTA until after Oscar nominations, but I think she's in. They love Sinners, and yeah, I think she's going to come along with Sinners. I do think Inga Ibsdottir Lilas is still going to get nominated despite missing SAG. None of the sentimental value actors got SAG, but she made the BAFTA long list still. Elle Fanning couldn't even make the long list, and she has Golden Globe and Critics' Choice. I don't think they're going to nominate both of them anymore, and Inga's the way stronger one, so I think she'll be in. And number 5, I have Odessa Zion from Marty Supreme. She got the SAG nomination, and I think she's going to get the BAFTA nomination. She is on the long list. She didn't get Golden Globe or Critics' Choice, but Marty Supreme has gotten way stronger since then. And her getting the SAG nomination just showed like she could get in. I've had her in since she got that SAG nomination. I hope she gets in. She's fantastic in the movie. I think she could. Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. She does have everything. She has Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG, BAFTA long list. We'll see if she gets the nomination or not. We're not going to know until after Oscar nominations. Although due to her movie like not being a Best Picture, Weapons may not be either, but Weapons is closer to picture than Wicked. Due to her movie being like not in Best Picture, I think it just kind of makes sense for her to fall along with the movie. I mean, I know she's been strong with like SAG, but like when you have all these other people in Best Picture nominees like Umi Masaku, Inga, Azayan, I think it just kind of makes sense to kick Ariana out. I think she's very good in Wicked for Good, but I think due to her movie being a little weaker, she kind of makes sense to be like the more blockbuster snub, like Denzel Washington Gladiator 2. I mean, he didn't get SAG, so she's already stronger in that department, but still that's kind of the same, kind of similar. Viola Davis for The Woman King. She got everything, but the movie was a little more actiony, so she missed. Lady Gaga Hasaguchi, another like pop star, who missed and got everything. The internet's gonna be so insufferable if Ariana misses. By the way, like this, because the stands have been crazy all season. I've seen them; they're pretty crazy people, just like Lady Gaga stands were 4 years ago. So yeah, the internet's gonna be insufferable if she gets in. No, they're gonna be insufferable if she misses. If she does get in, the internet's gonna be happy, but then they're gonna be insufferable when she loses. So, just depends on how early the stands are gonna have their meltdown. But I think she's gonna miss for now. Gwyneth Paltrow, Marty Scream. I only have her here at 7 due to the possibility that some people think where she can leapfrog over a Zion. I think Gwyneth Paltrow is very good in Marty Supreme, although I wouldn't want her to get in over Odessa Zion. I think she's way stronger in the movie. Paltrow hasn't gotten anything yet. She did get BAFTA long list, but that's the only thing she really has. She didn't get SAG or Golden Globe or Critics' Choice. Odessa Zion's gotten way more, so I think she's going to be the Marty Supreme nominee. Although Paltrow's not impossible, I guess I can maybe see her getting nominated. I don't think they'll nominate both of them. I kind of feel like if she got in, it would be like a Judi Dench, who took out Katrina Bell for Belfast, where the older, like more veteran, takes out the younger performance. So yeah, I guess it'd be something like that, but I'm not gonna predict that. Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. I just think she's gone. I don't really think so. She has Golden Globe and Critics' Choice. She got both of those with Inga. She missed SAG along with Inga, so they both missed SAG. Immediately, I was like, are they really SAG really gonna snub all 4, and then the Oscars will still nominate all 4? And then BAFTA like didn't even have her on the long list. And that was when I was like, she's gone. Like she's not getting in with that BAFTA long list. Like of course not. So I just don't really think she's gonna get in. I mean, 2 years in a row, interestingly, she's gotten kicked out by her co-star with a complete unknown. I don't even think she had really a shot, but Monica Barbaro did get in. And then for Sentimental Value, it kind of looked like she had a shot earlier when she got Golden Globe and Critics' Choice. But then Inga got BAFTA long list and she didn't, and they both missed SAG. So I just feel Elle Fanning's not happening. Emily Watson for Hamnet may get BAFTA, but that's not happening. And Tania Maria for The Secret Agent, I have her in. I've heard some things about her, but she'll probably not get in. If she got in, it'd probably be like how when Marina de Tavira got in for Roma. But Roma was the best picture frontrunner at the time, so and it got 10 nominations. So I don't really think Secret Agent's really comparable in that way. Supporting actor. This is the easiest one. Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård. Sean Penn's on here twice. What the hell? Okay, that's supposed to say. I'm gonna change that real quick. Sean Penn's supposed to be number 1, and then number 3 is supposed to be Benicio del Toro for One Battle. I can't believe he's on here twice. That's crazy. Any other? No, everything else looks normal. Okay. That's crazy, though. I had Sean Penn on here twice. He's getting double nominated for the same role. Okay. I can reshare my screen now. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that. That's what I gotta proofread all these before I actually do this live stream. But yeah, supporting actor. It's gonna be Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård, Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi, Paul Mescal. Any questions? Like this is super obvious. The only one here who's missed any beat is Stellan Skarsgård. He didn't get the SAG nomination, which is why I don't. Which is, by the way, why I'm not quite sure if he's gonna win, despite him winning the Globe. But again, this is not about winners. This is about nominees. But yeah, Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro have everything. Jacob Elordi won the Critics' Choice Award, and Paul Mescal, he got SAG. Some people were wondering if he was gonna miss SAG, but he got it. All 5 of them are gonna get BAFTA too. It's just gonna be the easy 5. This is one of the categories I'm very convinced I'm 5 for 5 on nomination morning. I guess Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Miles Keaton for Sinners are on the outside. Delroy Lindo got the BAFTA long list, and then Miles Keaton got the SAG nomination. I would love especially if Miles Keaton got in, but I don't really think he's going to get in. So, yeah. Andrew Scott for Blue Moon, he might get BAFTA, but I don't think he's going to get this Oscar nomination. Adam Sandler for Jake Kelly, he's dead. He only has Globe and Critics' Choice. Couldn't even get SAG. He's gone. Jacoby Jupe for Hamnet, he's not happening. Couldn't make BAFTA long list. He's only really there to fill up the category, to fill up the outside shot list. I mean, but yeah, this is by far the easiest the acting categories. Like this one, there shouldn't really be any debate on. Original screenplay, Sinners, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme are all getting in. Those are locked. I still think they're gonna nominate It Was Just an Accident. That got the Globe nomination. That's the only thing it really has though. May get BAFTA, but we'll see. Didn't get Critics' Choice Award, and it's not eligible for WGA. So, but those make sense though. Those make sense. And I mean, it's not impossible that it misses. Although if it missed, it would be so dead for Best Picture. And I'm not really sure. Like, I think it's still gonna get Best Picture due to like when he being the Palme d'Or winner and getting both screenplay and director nominations at the Globes. I think it's gonna at least get screenplay. Even if it doesn't get director, it'll get screenplay. So I think Accident's still gonna get in. And then the fifth slot's a little challenging. A lot of these movies have really good chances. I went with Sorry Baby. Before I wasn't sure. This movie's very like indie. Although like maybe it's like the Farewell, where it's like an indie dramedy, and it got Critics' Choice, but then it just misses, and due to it being like a smaller movie. I think Sorry Baby makes sense. I mean, Julia Roberts did give that shout out at the Golden Globes. I'm not sure how much that's going to factor into it, but it was, again, the day before Oscar voting. Well, we're going to get into K-pop eventually, but Julia Roberts' Globe shout out for Sorry Baby did come like the day before Oscar voting. So I guess that's kind of like significant, but we'll see if that actually pays off. Sorry Baby, I think the movie seems to be a very like dialogue heavy and writey movie that the writing branch I could really see them going for. And we do usually get a lone screenplay nominee every year. The one year we didn't was in 2021 for Worst Person. Well, Worst Person, I guess. I mean, that did get an international feature nomination, but it didn't get any other nominations besides screenplay. But like all these other years, we've gotten lone screenplay nominees. Last year it was what was it last year? It was September 5 last year. The year before that, it was May, December. The year before that, it was Glass Onion. The year before that, it was, I guess, Worst Person, but that's not really one. I wouldn't really consider that to be. Wouldn't really consider that to be a lone nominee. But and then the year before that one, we had The White Tiger. The year before that one, it was Knives Out. Before that, First Reformed. And then before that, it was The Big Sick and Logan, The Disaster Artist. We've got actually quite a few that year. And the year before that, it was 20th Century Women and The Lobster. The year before that, it was Straight Outta Compton. Like we get so many of these lone screenplay nominees every year, pretty much. So maybe Sorry Baby's going to continue that tradition as being a very screenplay heavy movie that gets this nomination and nothing more. I mean, Eva Victor also got a Globe nomination for it, and drama actress. She's probably gonna win the first time director DGA. So Sorry Baby does seem to be there does seem to be like maybe enough passion for that. Although I don't think it has to happen. There's other alternatives. Secret Agent makes sense. That's probably gonna get Best Picture, so like that could maybe get screenplay too. if that happens and an accident gets picture, then we're probably going to get 10 out of 10 with Best Picture in both screenplay categories, which would be interesting. Secret Agent is very possible, although it hasn't really been showing up too much in screenplay. And Sorry Baby just seems to be a little more of like a writing movie than Secret Agent seems to be. So that's why I have it out, but it could get in. It wouldn't surprise me. Weapons has Critics' Choice, and it's going to have WGA. The movie is nominated for PGA. So Weapons could happen, I think. The only thing is that I'm a little wondering if it's going to be like A Quiet Place, which also got Critics' Choice nominated for screenplay and PGA and WGA, which no Weapons will get. But it's a horror movie that just misses anyway. I think Quiet Place, Quiet's in the title, so there's less like dialogue and stuff. And Weapons, the story's like very like twisty, like you have all the different like perspectives of all the different characters. So there is something there with Weapons, but I'm just gonna say it misses for now. Although it could get in still, I guess. And then the only one I'm really kind of considering besides is Blue Moon, which I guess could maybe be like Living, which got adapted and actor. So maybe this gets screenplay and actor, and maybe it gets picture after that. We'll see. We'll see. I think that it could kind of make sense. Although here the movie's a little bit like play-like, I guess. Ma Rainey was very play-like, and that didn't get screenplay or picture. So I guess Blue Moon, like maybe that'll hurt it, but I think it could maybe happen. We'll see. So yeah, I'm not really considering anything else. F1's only here because that may get Best Picture, and that may get WGA actually. A lot of stuff is ineligible for WGA. Cinema Value is ineligible. It Was Just an Accident is ineligible. I think Sorry Baby is ineligible. Secret Agent, Blue Moon. So yeah, that makes room for F1 there. So yeah, Weapons is definitely also gonna get WGA too. It's gonna and Sinners and Artist Screen. But F1, I mean, Top Gun Maverick got screenplay, but I don't think this is gonna be the same thing at all. And Jay Kelly's just long dead. That didn't even make the BAFTA long list. So yeah, that's dead. Sorry Baby didn't either, but I still think that makes more sense. Way more sense for screenplay. We'll see if my Sorry Baby prediction pays off, or if it's just the Secret Agent, or maybe if they snub Accident and put the Secret Agent in and keep Sorry Baby or have Weapons in. Anything can happen. I think all the top 8 all have a good shot, especially the top 7. All of them have a very good chance of getting in. Best adapted screenplay, I think, is pretty locked. I think adapted screenplay is pretty locked up. One Battle After Another, Hamnet, Begonia, Train Dreams, Frankenstein. I think the top 4 easily all get in with picture. I guess Frankenstein's the only one that doesn't have to come along, but I think it's going to. Reminds me of like A Complete Unknown, All Quiet, 1917, movies that you don't really necessarily think need to come along and get screenplay, but they do anyway. So I think that's going to happen. Also movies in Best Picture, so I think it makes sense. I don't need it to get nominated, especially not over No Other Choice and Wake Up Dead Man, but it's probably going to happen anyway. No Other Choice got the Critics' Choice nomination, but it's not even long listed at BAFTA, so that just seems gone. Unfortunately, that should get in. Nuremberg, that may get BAFTA. We'll see. This 5 can also get BAFTA, though, and this 5 will probably be the WGA 5. All of them are eligible, so yeah. The BAFTAs aren't too crazy for screenplay usually, so that may very well be the BAFTA 6. So yeah. Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out Mystery just hasn't been showing up. It has not been showing up. Didn't even get Critics' Choice. It's disappointing because the screenplay is very good, but yeah, didn't show up. And then the last 2 literally just there to fill up the category. Everything else is like a 0% chance. Wicked for Good and Life of Chuck are literally just there. I wouldn't even blame you if you even forgot Life of Chuck existed. I haven't even seen it, but that movie just seems to be far out of the conversation. That happened ever since they bought out Cannes, and they bought all the movies at Cannes. They bought out No Other Choice, and No Other Choice wasn't at Cannes, but they got like Accident, Sentimental Value. I mean, they already had Sentimental Value, but they bought Accident, Seurat, and Life of Chuck just kept going down, and all these other international movies got up. So that's when the movie just faded away. So that movie's just long dead. Best casting. This one's interesting category. Because this is the first year we've ever had the casting category. So are they just going to nominate their favorite movies, Or are they going to actually like look deep into the casting and nominate some interesting picks? We'll see. I think Sinners, One Battle, Marty Supreme, and Hamden makes sense to get in. And then the fifth slot, I literally think you can do anything you really want to. Except Wicked for Good, I don't think that's getting in. I went with Weapons because there seems to be like there's like they did a lot of interesting stuff with the casting. I think before the strikes they had like a completely different casting with like Renata Reinsve was supposed to be like play Julia Gardner's character. I don't remember some of the others, but I know she was supposed to play like the Julia Gardner character. But after the strikes, they had to completely change the cast. So there was that. They cast a kid actor with Carrie Christopher as Alex, the kid. And obviously you have the casting of Amy Madigan as Aunt Gladys. Phenomenal work. The acting in the movie's great. I think it makes sense if they want to look deeper than just nominating their favorite movies. I think they could easily nominate Weapons. The Secret Agent, I think, can make sense. I mean, you do have Wagner Moura as casting. And I think they also cast like some non-actors in the movie as well. If the movie overperforms, I guess it could get cast in. So I think that makes sense. Frankenstein, they cast iconic characters. You had Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein, and especially Jacob Elordi as the creature. So maybe Jacob Elordi's casting alone can get this in. This is also one of the favorites, so if they want to nominate the favorites and you have like one big casting, Jacob Elordi, then they could nominate Frankenstein. Seurat, they cast like real like raver. They like cast like non-actors to play the character to like be in Seurat. So like maybe there's something there to get that nominated. We'll see. Sentimental Value, you cast like the four actors: Renata Reinsve, Stellan Skarsgård, Elle Fanning, and Ingrid's daughter Lillas. They cast all of them in the movie, and maybe you can get enough of that, but I'm not sure. I think it's the one. Wicked for Good is just not happening. That's the only one I'm convinced they're just not going to do. Don't have a good enough argument for that. It's pretty much almost exactly the same cast as the first movie. The only difference is instead of having Peter Dinklage voicing Dr. Dillman, you have Colman Domingo showing up for a 2-line cameo as the Cowardly Lion. Aside from that, everyone's the same. But aside from Wicked for Good, I'd say the other one I'm like kind of not really convinced on Sentimental Value. Seurat, I just think there's something there with Seurat. There could be something there with Frankenstein, Secret Agent, Hamlet. I feel like the top 4 are going to get in. The safe choice would probably just have Frankenstein in and go 5 out of 5 with SAG, although I'm not quite sure if they're going to do that. Again, this is the first year we have this category, so we can either see them nominate all their favorite movies or look a little bit deeper into like how well they casted the movies and maybe nominate some cool stuff like Weapons or Secret Agent or Seurat. We'll see. Best International Feature, predicting 5 Neons. The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, it was just an accident. Seurat, No Other Choice. I'm very worried for No Other Choice, to be honest. I mean, that does have Globe and Critics' Choice. It does have a picture precursor due to getting the Globe nomination. Got Critics' Choice for screenplay. So I don't really think I'm not gonna doubt it, although I'm a little bit worried for it. So yeah. I think the other 4 are gonna get in. Seurat, it was just an accident. Sentimental Value, Secret Agent. 3 of these might be in Best Picture. So I think all of those would obviously have to get International Feature. Another thing with No Other Choice is that I'm not really quite sure what the alternative is. I guess it could be the voice of Han Jajab, which got the Globe nomination. There are a number of executive producers with the for the movie, like Joaquin Phoenix, Rooney Mara, Brad Pitt, Jonathan Glazer, the director of Zone of Interest. Although I'm not 100% sure if they really pay attention to that and really vote based on that. So I'm going to leave it out. Although I think it could get in. Left-Handed Girls on Netflix. It's focused on like a kid, I think. And I think Sean Baker was involved with it. I don't think he directed it. I think he like wrote or edited it or something. But Sean Baker was involved. He just won 4 Oscars last year, so maybe there's something there. The President's Cake is Sony Classics, so I guess like, maybe they could get a nomination there. Belen got a Critics' Choice nomination. Left-Handed Girl also got a Critics' Choice. And then Kokuho was on the makeup shortlist. So there's that. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with the 5 Neon movies. I think that's a safe thing to do. But I'm not 100% sure if they're all gonna get in. No other choice, unfortunately, seems to be like one that could be a danger. But we'll see. This category is always the Wild West. They snub stuff that we think is going to be in. They nominate stuff that we think is going to be like falling and stuff. So maybe no other choice does still get in, and they plot twist they snub accident and that gets no nominations. That'd be terrible. But well, I haven't seen the movie, but that'd probably be terrible. I don't think that'll happen because accident's closer to Best Picture. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with 5 neons, and hopefully I get 4 right. We'll see. Best documentary feature. The Perfect Neighbors hit most of the precursors. That one's very good. I'd love to see that maybe win. And if it gets nominated, it probably will. 2,000 Meters to Andrivka is from the director of 20 Days of Mariupol. I heard something that they like to snub documentary directors' second go-arounds after they win. So maybe like that could miss 2,000 Meters to Andrivka. Although I'm not gonna doubt it. Cover Up is Netflix. It's from Laura Poitras, who did All the Beauty and the Bloodshed and Citizen4. And this movie's done pretty good with the important documentary precursors, so I think that'll probably happen. Apocalypse in the Tropics is about Brazil, I think. That's done well with precursors, so I'm gonna have that in. I do have 3 Netflix in though. They're probably not all gonna get in, but I think they make a good enough sense. And the My Undesirable Friends Part 1 last year in Moscow. That's about like Russia. That got the Andy Spirit nomination, I think. So that makes sense. That's some of the precursors, important ones as well. Although it is a 5-hour documentary, so see if the Academy voters wanted to sit through it or not. The Alabama Solution, I think, is about incarceration, so that's possible. Seeds, I think, got 2 major ones. I think they got like IDA or Cinema or something. I'm not too informed with the doc category. I just know that these important precursors exist, and the ones that I have in are ones that got in at those precursors. But Seeds is possible. So Nobody Gets Putin's possible. I guess Cutting Through Rocks maybe. And then I know Come See Me and The Good Light won the Cinema Eye Award. That's one thing I do know. And it's also on the song shortlist, although that doesn't really matter. They're 2 different branches. So it could easily get documentary without song. It gets a song nomination without documentary, which has not happened multiple times. So I'm going to say it misses. They do like to sometimes snub like the feel-good. They love to nominate ones that are like very important. And they like to snub like ones that are a little more like based around like they're like a little more lighthearted and based around famous people and stuff. So I'm guessing I'm gonna say it misses for that, although it could get in. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't really think any of the ones in the top 10 would surprise me really. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with this 5. Probably covers a lot of the important precursors. So yeah. Best animated feature. This one's easy. K-pop Demon Hunters, Zootopia 2, Little Amelie, Arco, Elio. That's easy. A lot of people think some people maybe think Elio missed because it didn't do well at the box office. No, it's gotten everything. It actually did extremely well at the Annie Awards. In this category, are you really gonna say they're gonna snub Pixar with this competition? This is probably one of the like most like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say empty. Like one of the most like one of the least competitive years in this category, and you really think they're gonna snub Pixar for Demon Slayer, which is anime? They don't really like to nominate anime. I mean, Demon Slayer does have some big nominations. It has the Annie, I think. Well, no, I'm not sure if it does. It has PGA and it has the BAFTA Long List. It has Golden Globe. Although I don't really think they're gonna nominate an anime. They don't really like to nominate anime stuff that much. But I guess if there's a number 6, it's Demon Slayer. Bad Guys 2 got like PGA and stuff, but that's because they didn't want to nominate Little Amelie or Arco. In Your Dreams just only got Critics' Choice. That has really shown up anywhere else. Predator, Killer of Killers, just there. The Twits, just there. I don't even think The Twits is well received. Yeah, this 5 is very straightforward. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't this top 5. So yeah. Next, we're gonna go into the tech categories. Those are the ones I'm a little like more inclined to take a little bit of like a swing here and there, but I do have mainly like what's expected for the most part. So we're gonna talk about techs. Best cinematography. I'm doing the ASC 5. I'm doing Sinners, One Battle, Frankenstein, Train Dreams, Marty Supreme. Train Dreams didn't get the British Society of Cinematographers nomination, although that doesn't matter. It's an American movie. It won the Critics' Choice. And it has ASC. Well, all of these have ASC. The entire top 5. Marty Supreme is Darius Khondji. The movie got ASC and BSC, British Society of Cinematographers. It was Critics' Choice, but that was before the Marty Supreme peak. And I don't think Marty Supreme is going to get those 2 nominations and not repeat at the Oscars, especially with Darius Khondji being a previous nominee and a well-respected cinematographer. So I think it's going to be in. Frankenstein, One Battle, and Sinners haven't missed any beats at all, so those are all going to get in. Hamnet has Critics' Choice. That may get BAFTA, although that missed ASC and it missed BSC for Die My Love. So I don't really think that's happening. Luc Argel missed for The Zone of Interest, although he did get in for Ida and Cold War. So we'll see if he can get redeemed, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely number 6, although I don't know. He's probably. I think the ASC 5 just makes the most sense. Begonia, maybe F1 that has Critics' Choice, but that couldn't even get ASC. That's not happening. Nouvelle Vague, Black and White, Ballad of a Small Player, just no. Yeah, nothing else really has a shot. Editing is an interesting one. One Battle, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. I'd maybe even say F1 or all locks. I'd say. I know F1's not in Best Picture. Maybe we'll see if it actually gets Best Picture. Although for now I don't have it in, but I still think it fits the bill for a movie that could get in without Best Picture, like a Baby Driver or a Tick Tick Boom or a I, Tonya. It's a sports movie, lots of editing, lots of cuts. It won the Critics' Choice. It might even win the BAFTA because they love their car movies too. If it gets nominated, which it's going to get the BAFTA nomination. So yeah, I think F1 makes all the sense in the world for editing. Critics have been nominating it. So yeah, I think it's going to be in. If it gets in and if it gets a Best Picture nomination, I might wonder if it could win the Oscar, to be honest. And number 5, I just have Hamnet. Hamnet's top 3 for picture, so I'm gonna have that for editing. Didn't get Critics' Choice though, so we'll see if it is on the BAFTA long list. They'll probably get the Eddie nomination. All this is after Oscar nominations though. I think Frankenstein could make sense. I mean, that's a movie contending in various tech categories, so yes, editing would make sense to come along, but yeah, I don't really have a reason to doubt Hamnet, so I'm just gonna have that at number 6. Although I don't think it makes sense to get in. Sentimental Value that didn't make the BAFTA long list, so I'm gonna say no. Begonia, maybe, probably not. A House of Dynamite got the Critics' Choice nomination and the BAFTA long list. Although lone editing nominees don't happen, so I think that's gonna be gone. And No Other Choice, unfortunately, will miss, even though the editing is fantastic. Couldn't even get the BAFTA long list. It's gone. Best Production Design, I'm probably just going to go to say 5 here. Frankenstein, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Wicked for Good. I don't think Wicked's locked. I could easily see that being like a Wakanda Forever or Gladiator 2, where it misses production design, but gets costumes. The production design, I mean, there is some new stuff there. There's Elphaba's tree, there's her castle, there's Glinda's like apartment thing. So the new sets are there and they're very good. And then you also have all the other sets from the first movie, like the Munchkin Land, the Emerald City. The first movie won this category. Nathan Crowley won for the first movie, and Lee Sandels, who did the set decoration, they won for the first movie. Although the first Black Panther also won. Look what happened. They didn't nominate the sequel, even though they had Talokan, which was like a whole underwater kingdom. So I could easily see it missing, although it hasn't really missed a beat yet, so I'm just gonna say it gets in. One Battle After Another, I guess if they really, really love it, they can nominate it, but it is contemporary. The sets are pretty cool though. They have like Bob and Willa's house. Benicio's apartment looked really cool. They had the Christmas Adventurers place. They'd have to really like love it though. It had to be like 16 nominations. That could maybe happen, but again, just due to it being contemporary, I'm just gonna leave it out. Avatar: Fire and Ash just hasn't shown. It didn't even get the BAFTA long list. I know some people are saying like there's a stat where like visual effects winners get production design. Well, Godzilla minus one, where was that the production design nomination for that movie? You know, no, I'm not gonna predict that. It seems to be long dead. Begonia, that'd be a cool nomination. Begonia, the house would look really nice, but I'm not sure. Fantastic Four First Steps, that did get Art Directors Guild and Critics' Choice, and it did make the BAFTA long list. Although I don't think the low nomination for a Marvel movie is going to be production design. Like I don't really think that fits. Although production design is really cool. I like the design of the Baxter Building. It's really, I love the retro futuristic 60s style. And then The Secret Agent's there. It's a period movie, although I haven't really seen it show up much anywhere. Really. Costume design, I'm doing the same 5. Feel a little less good about it, but I have it. Frankenstein, Sinners, Hamnet, Wicked for Good, all those are getting in. And the 5th slot, I think, is a little bit tougher, although I have Marty Supreme. It is a period movie. I know the costumes aren't like anything groundbreaking. It's just like guys in suits, women, and like dresses and stuff. And none of them are really flashy. And a lot of the movies close-ups anyway, so you don't really get to see like a lot of the costumes. Although due to the movie being in the 50s and the movie being a little bit on the rise and being a big picture contender, I'm just gonna have it in for that reason. The costume designer isn't really known though. Meanwhile, One Battle After Another has Colleen Atwood. She's been nominated a lot. She won a few times. She hasn't been nominated since her win for Fantastic Beasts though. And I don't think she's ever been nominated for a contemporary film. That's the reason why I'm skeptical about One Battle, is because it's contemporary. And also the costumes, besides like Bob Ferguson's like bathrobe, the red one, that one was iconic. And like Willa's like leather jacket. I don't really think the costumes are really too noteworthy. It would have to like severely overperform to get that nomination. Like it'd have to be like over 14 nominations, which I guess could happen. But due to it being a contemporary film, I'm a little bit skeptical. Hedda got Critics' Choice and Art Directors Guild. That has like, it's a period movie with big fluffy dresses and stuff. That didn't make the BAFTA long list though. Kind of feel like for a lone costume nominee, I kind of have to get that. Like that's a little bit of a weird omission. And again, it's not really contending in any other categories. Lone costume nominees do happen, like Cyrano, Mrs. Harris goes to Paris. Those got the BAFTA nominations. This one can't even get that, so I'm gonna say Mrs. The Testament of Vanley's dead. Couldn't even get BAFTA long list. Because of the Spider-Woman got Critics' Choice. That one's also Colleen Atwood, but that's not getting in. Secret Agent, I guess, maybe, but probably not. Best makeup and hairstyling. Maybe could go in interesting directions, although I'm not really going to budge from the safe 5. Frankenstein, Sinners, Wicked for Good, I think are all in. I think all of them are locked. I'd say One Battle After Another is locked for the work they did on Sean Penn towards the end. And The Smashing Machine for the work they did on Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think it missed like a big nomination at the Makeup Guild, but it does have big names behind it. Kazuhiro was behind it. He won for Darkest Hour and Bombshell, and he's nominated for Maestro. And then Mia Neal, who was also involved, she won for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So I think that can maybe help it. Maybe having recognizable people behind it. Wicked for Good has Mark Coulier behind it. He was involved with all the prosthetics when it comes to Tin Man and the Scarecrow. That's why I don't think Wicked's gonna miss. They have way more prosthetic work than they did in the first movie. If it missed makeup, at that point, it'd probably just be a lone costumes thing. To be honest, we'll see if Wicked for Good falls to that point where it only gets like 1 or 2 nominations. But I'm not sure if it's going to. I think it's gonna get, at most, I think it's gonna get 5 nominations. I don't really see it getting anything more. It could get less if there's really just no passion for it, but we'll see. What are the movies that can surprise? Kokuho, I think could surprise. I think that's about like drag. I think it's about like Japanese drag. I think pretty much. Maybe that could happen. The Alto Knights is a Robert De Niro flop movie where he played 2 characters. Maybe. Marty Supreme. They did give Timothy Chalamet like acne scars and stuff, but that's very subtle work. this makeup branch, they like to go for like big stuff, you know. And I don't really think Marty Supreme really fits the bill. The Ugly Stepsister is body horror, so probably not. Unless, I mean, The Substance was in Best Picture, so obviously that was gonna like win. But if it wasn't in Best Picture, like would that have gotten in? We'll see. But yeah, Ugly Stepsister is nowhere close to getting any other nominations. So I'm gonna say that misses as for being a body horror movie. And then Nuremberg, they probably just have some stuff on Russell Crowe, but I'm not really sure if that's gonna get in. I'm just gonna stick with the say 5. We'll see if there's a surprise, but yeah. There's visual effects, Avatar, and F1 are both locked. Easy. Superman missed VES, although it did get 4 nominations there, and it has Critics' Choice and the BAFTA long list. So I think they're going to nominate. It's the only superhero movie in the lineup and on the long list. So I think they're going to nominate it. The Lost Bus got 4 VES nominations, including the main category for visual effects. I don't think it's 13 Lives. And I watched a reel with a lot of the visual effects work, and it's very impressive. They created like all the fire and stuff. And scenes where like CGI the bus, I think. So yeah, cool stuff. I think I'll get in, especially with that VES performance. And then number 5, I have Wicked for Good. That didn't really do too great with VES. That got 1 nomination. The first one also only got 1 nomination, and it missed Critics' Choice. Although I think it might get BAFTA. It is long listed, and there's way more visual effects than there was in the first movie. And the first movie got in. Like this one has more animals, more green screen. I watched a reel. Like a visual effects reel, and it looks quite good actually. The animals, they also have the flying monkeys. They love to nominate monkeys. So yeah, due to the sheer amount of visual effects they have, I'm gonna say Wicked gets in. Although it doesn't have to. They could do Sinners, I guess. They do have like the technology. They had to create 2 Michael B. Jordans. They also have some scenes with fire. So that would make some sense, although that does kind of feel like maybe it's like a Dunkirk or Shape of Water or Poor Things or like those 3 mainly. Where it's a movie in Best Picture that people think is going to happen because it's in Best Picture, but then it doesn't happen. And Sinners also didn't make the BAFTA long list, so I'm going to say it misses, although it could maybe happen. There is one movie, though, that I think definitely fits that Poor Things, Shape of Water, and Dunkirk bill, and that's Frankenstein. Frankenstein, the visual effects aren't really well received. They've been criticized, and they got 0 VES nominations, not 1. It did get Critics' Choice, and it's probably going to get BAFTA, to be honest. Because they don't have Sinners there. But I think they're just going to snub it, like they did with the other Best Picture movies. This category doesn't need any Best Picture nominees. They've done it before where they just don't have any in there. So I'm going to say Frankenstein gets that. Always felt like a red herring to me. I think I had him briefly after the shortlist because they left out so much stuff like Fantastic Four and Mission Impossible. But after that, like I just thought about it, and then I put Sinners in, and I just and I Frankenstein back in. That's always felt like a red herring. I don't think that's actually gonna get in. Tron Ares, probably not. Jurassic World Rebirth got VES, but probably not. Never nominated a Jurassic World movie. And the Electric State random shortlist thing. I guess they saw something with those robots. So Russo Brothers, 14% on Rotten Tomatoes movie. Not gonna get in. Hasn't gotten anything yet. Hasn't gotten a single thing yet. So no, not gonna happen. If it was gonna get in, it would have popped up randomly at VES, but it didn't. So no. Best sound, F1, One Battle, Sinners, Frankenstein are all in. Those haven't missed a beat. Fifth slot's interesting. I have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning because they got the Cinema Audio Society nomination. That also got in that I don't even know. Got something else. Didn't get the Motion Picture Sound Editors. Didn't get in there, but I got Cinema Audio Society. I think that's pretty cool. That's the only one year that really has any precursor support. Surratt would be an interesting nomination, but that has Critics' Choice, and that has international nomination at Motion Picture Sound Editors. But I kind of feel like it's not really in line with what the branch likes to do. I mean, I think 2 years ago when they had the Visual Effects Bake Off, they nominated The Creator and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. And Dead Reckoning didn't even get Cinema Audio Society, yet the Final Reckoning did, so I feel like that makes it a little bit stronger. Although it is probably going to be a Lone Sound nominee, and we don't really get those too much, so that's a little worrying, because it's not on the short list for visual effects, so can't get that. But I think it has the most precursor support, so I'm just going to say it gets in. So yeah. Avatar Fire and Ash hasn't gotten anything. That didn't get Critics' Choice. That didn't get anything at the Motion Picture Sound Editors. Doesn't have Cinema Audio Society. I just don't really think that it can justify putting that in without precursors. Although I did hear that did have an impressive bake-off. I heard that did have a very impressive bake-off. So maybe, but I'm not really sure. Oh, Wicked for Good, probably not. If it was in Best Picture, maybe, because I like musicals, but because it's not in Best Picture and hasn't really shown up too much, I'm going to say no. Superman, probably not. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, probably not. Those are the last two movies on the shortlist. Original score, interesting one. Interesting category. Obviously, Sinners, One Battle are going to be in. Frankenstein, I think, is pretty locked. And Hamnet, I think all those are getting in. Frankenstein, I mean, they did snub this plot for the last few years, although it was for movies that are way weaker than this. Like Midnight Sky was like only in visual effects. French Dispatch got no nominations. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was only nominated for animated feature, although he did get every precursor for that. But then you have Frankenstein, which is in Best Picture, so I think he's going to get nominated for a Best Picture movie, and he hasn't missed a beat yet. So I think Hamnet's in. And then the fifth slot's interesting. Personally, what I would love is for Frankenstein to miss so we can get Marty Supreme and Begonia nominated. That'd be so cool for both of those, because I love both of those scores. But I unfortunately have to choose one. Marty Supreme. It's a techno score, so I'm a little bit skeptical for that reason, and I'm not 100% sure if the music branch is going to pull through. But it is a big movie. It's unlike Challengers and Spider-Verse. It is going to be in Best Picture. And I think it's a little more of an Oscar-friendly score than those two. So it makes sense, I guess, maybe. Maybe it's more in line with like when they nominated Everything Everywhere or Poor Things, where it's a little bit of a experimental score, but it still gets nominated anyway due to them loving the movie. So maybe Marty Supreme could be that, or maybe they could go with a score that actually does make sense to nominate, and I think maybe could get BAFTA nominated, and that's Begonia. I mean, that's not an electronic score, so if you really want to say they're not going to nominate any electronic stuff, then Begonia makes sense. I think that makes sense. That got like the Society of Composer and Lyricists nomination. I think that could get the BAFTA nomination. It could be that or Marty Supreme. I think it makes sense. Just Jerskin Fendrix got in for Poor Things. The score is way more Oscar-friendly than Poor Things' score was. Although Poor Things was definitely going to get nominated. So yeah. I think it makes sense. The movie's going to be in Best Picture. Jerskin Fendrix, previous nominee. Academy-friendly score. I'm going to have it in. Although Marty Supreme could happen. Wouldn't surprise me if it did. I'd love it if it got in. It's such a good score, but I'm going to say Begonia gets in. Realistically, I love both those scores. And I'd love for Frankenstein to miss and then for both of those to happen, but I'm not sure if they're going to happen. Marty Supreme missed the Globe and the Society of Composers and Lyricists, but I don't really care about that. That was way before the Marty Supreme peak. We'll see if it gets BAFTA or not. I'm not sure if it's going to because I could see them doing Begonia, but we'll see. Hopefully. F1 got Critics' Choice and Golden Globe, missed Society of Composers and Lyricists, and it missed BAFTA long list. So I'm going to say it's out. It is Hans Zimmer, but he's not like a John Williams where he can just get nominated for Walking Down the Street. Like like they don't nominate him for every single movie he does. Wicked for Good, the music branch, they like Stephen Schwartz. That's the vibe I'm getting due to them nominating Wicked for score the first time. I made the BAFTA long list, got in at Society of Composers and Lyricists. I guess if they really love Stephen Schwartz, they can nominate it. It's also John Powell behind it as well, who did like the How to Train Your Dragon score. So yeah, the first one got in, but this right from the get-go, this felt like an easy category. Like even before Wicked for Good fell, like this felt like an easy one to say that it wasn't going to get this time. So I don't think it will. Sarat, it's electronic. The composer, Kang Ray, is not really too well known. Did get a Golden Globe nomination though, but missed the BAFTA long list. So yeah, I don't think that's happening. And then Train Dreams, it is Bryce Dessner. Maybe, but I'm not sure. Original song. Oh, this one has two. Okay. Well, Drive from F1 shouldn't be on there. I'm gonna fix that real quick. Then I'm gonna. It's a quick fix, but sure proofread all these, man. Okay, we'll be back. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So obviously, I'll wait for the screen. Okay. Obviously, Golden's getting in. I Lied to You's getting in. Dear Me's getting in. You have to have the Diane Warren nominee, obviously. The song's terrible, but a lot of the songs she gets nominated for are great. So yeah, a lot of the songs she gets nominated for are not great. So yeah, but obviously she gets nominated every single year, so of course she's gonna get in. And then Train Dreams, it's Nick Cave and Bryce Dessner. Great song. Got Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, so I think that'll be in. The movie's also in Best Picture. And then number 5, I just have The Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good. That also got Globe and Critics' Choice. And again, the vibe that I got from the Academy nominating Wicked for score last year was that they like to nominate maybe Steven Schwartz as a branch fave. And this is clearly the stronger Wicked song. They both got in at the Golden Globes, but Girl in the Bubble was the lone song that they nominated for Critics' Choice. I don't think it's a possibility snub it, though. I mean, the songs aren't particularly the best received, so I could easily see them just saying no to both of them. Although, I think if they nominate one, it's going to be The Girl in the Bubble. I could see them nominating Salt, then Sour, then Sweet from Come See Me in the Good Light. It's a documentary song. They like to nominate those. And technically, we do already have that with Diane Warren, but that could happen. One of the writers is Sarah Bareilles, so maybe her name could get this in. We'll see. Last time I seen the song from Sinners, maybe this could be like the This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere, the Like a Bird from Sing. No, Sing wasn't a Best Picture. Maybe it could be like This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere, or Wajaji from Killers of the Flower Moon, where it's the real Best Picture coattail nominee song. I guess you can kind of say Train Dreams, but that one actually has precursors. These Wajaji and This Is a Life didn't have precursors. So maybe if they really love Sinners, that could be like the surprise one from a Best Picture nominee that gets in. I would love it. I would love if they nominated last time I see the sun. And that would mean if that song got in, Miles Caton would be an Oscar nominee. So that'd be amazing. Not sure if they're gonna do it. It doesn't have Globe or Critics' Choice. I think it has like a lot of the. I think it has some of the important industry ones though. So I'm keeping my eye out for that one. No Place Like Home from Wicked for Good has Golden Globe, but don't really think that's gonna get in. Dying to Live from Billy Idol should be dead. I mean, it is Billy Idol. Another writer on it, Jay Ralph, he's been nominated a few times for like documentary songs and stuff, but I'm not really sure if this is gonna be one of them that gets in. They nominated the Elton John song last year, but Elton John's a way bigger name, I'd say. Although Billy Idol is a big name too. And Dream has one from Avatar: Fire and Ash. It's Miley Cyrus, but probably not. That got the Globe nomination, but it's probably due to Miley Cyrus's name. Best documentary short. I'm really gonna guess what these. I saw what the Oscar expert was predicting, and I trusted him enough to go along with everything he has. So I have All the Empty Rooms, which I think is about school shooting victims. Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brett Renaud, which is about a journalist. The Devil is Busy, I think is about abortion. All the Walls Came Down, and Ravina's Choice. That's all of them have. The runner-ups I have are Perfectly a Strangeness, Cashing Out, Heartbeat, On Healing Land, Birds Perch, and Last Days on Lake Trinity. For Best Animated Short, I have Snow Bear, Playing God, Yuru, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, and Butterfly. I think Yuru is Cartoon Saloon. One of these is Cartoon Saloon, I'm pretty sure. For my outside shots, I have The Shyness of Trees, Autocar, Retirement Plan, I Died in Urban, and The Three Sisters. Best live action short, Rock Paper Scissors won the BAFTA for short last year, I think. And it's about Russia, Ukraine, so that's in. Two people exchanging saliva is in, I think. Maybe we'll see. I have that in. The Singers was just picked up by Netflix, and that's well received, so I think that'll get in. And I have Beyond Silence and The Boy with White Skin. My outside shots, I have A Friend of Dorothy, Ada or Otto. No, it's not Otto. I want to say it's no. I think it's Ado. A Friend of Dorothy, Ado, Extremist, Dad's Not Home, and Butcher Slain are my runners up. And here are the movies I have in for Best Picture. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for my final Oscar nomination predictions. I can't believe it's already over, man. After this, we're gonna have winners to predict after the nominations are announced. When nomination day happens, I'm gonna be live at around 5 p.m. That's the time I have scheduled. I'm not gonna warn anyone in advance when I'm going live because I'm just scared I'm gonna get spoiled. Well, no, I'm probably scheduled to post in advance actually. But I'm afraid I'm gonna stay off YouTube all day until I have to do this stream. Well, no, I'm not even gonna be on YouTube for that. I'm gonna be on YouTube to watch the video, the announcements, obviously. But it's gonna be like way later in the day, so I'm very scared. We're probably gonna have a lot of surprises. I'm probably gonna go nuts, but yeah, it's a crazy year. I could see a lot of snubs and surprises happening. So yeah. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for my reaction tomorrow, and please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.